Most people don't have bad sleep. They have caffeine that's still in their bloodstream at bedtime. That means we can fall asleep, fine, and still sleep like garbage. This isn't a quick coffee video. This is a keep the benefits, kill the collateral damage video. We're going to explain caffeine half-life in a way that sticks, then build a timing rule set that protects sleep, reduces anxiety spikes, keeps blood pressure steadier, and still lets us perform in training. Because caffeine isn't a vibe, it's math. Half-life is simply the time it takes for the body to clear about half of the caffeine that's still in circulation. In healthy adults, the average half-life is roughly 5 hours, but it varies a lot. Genetics, smoking, pregnancy, medications, and liver function can all shift how long caffeine lingers. Here's the example to remember. If we take 200 mg at 2 p.m., an average metabolizer may still have about 100 mg at 7 p.m., and around 50 mg at midnight. If we're a slower metabolizer, that midnight residue can be much higher, which is why one afternoon coffee can quietly become midnight stimulant. This also explains why two people can drink the same latte and have opposite experiences. Some of us clear caffeine slowly. Some of us are more sensitive to it. That's not weakness. That's biology. Now let's bust the biggest myth. We fall asleep fine, so caffeine doesn't affect us. Falling asleep is not the test. Deep, unbroken, restorative sleep is the test. Caffeine can cut total sleep time, reduce sleep efficiency, increase wake time during the night, and shave down deep sleep. So we can pass out from exhaustion and still wake up unrefreshed, more reactive, and strangely dependent on coffee the next morning. That's not a personality flaw. That's sleep quality taking hits. This is where people get trapped. Caffeine can mask sleep debt while also creating it. It's like using a credit card to pay off a different credit card, then acting surprised when the bill shows up. So here's the longevity compass caffeine rule set. Think of these as guardrails we personalize, not commandments we obey perfectly. Our goal is simple: keep the benefits early, reduce the collateral damage late. Rule number 1: dose is a ladder, not a flex. A 60 to 100 mg coffee can be a gentle nudge. A 200 to 300 mg energy drink or pre-workout is a full-on intervention. And if we stack doses across the day, we accidentally turn coffee culture into an all-day stimulant drip. The longevity move is using the lowest dose that gets the job done. If we need more and more caffeine just to feel normal, that's often tolerance and dependence, not, we're just busy. We want caffeine as a tool, not as a required subscription. Rule number 2: the cutoff is earlier than we think. A strong baseline is getting our last meaningful caffeine dose at least 8 to 10 hours before bedtime. If we're anxious, sleep fragmented, or blood pressure sensitive, a 10 to 12 hour buffer is often safer. That's the half-life truth in action. This is also why late pre-workouts are dangerous. A quick, 3 p.m. pre-workout can still be biologically active when we're trying to sleep. And then we wonder why our overnight heart rate is higher and our sleep feels lighter. Rule number 3: we can fall asleep, is not the pass. How do we sleep? Is the pass. If we wake up at 3 a.m. with a racing mind, or we wake up feeling wired and unrefreshed, caffeine timing is a prime suspect. If our wearable shows higher overnight heart rate, less deep sleep, or more wake time, caffeine can be part of that story even if sleep onset looks okay. The same goes for mood. If we feel more irritable, more anxious, or more thin-skinned the day after afternoon caffeine, that's information. We don't need to argue with it. We just adjust the dose and the clock. Rule number 4: coffee and energy drinks are not the same delivery system. Coffee can be easier to dose and usually gets consumed more slowly. Energy drinks are easier to slam, sometimes have higher totals, and often come packaged with sugar or other stimulatory ingredients. The simple rule is, if we're going to use caffeine, we want it boring, predictable, and easy to measure. Now let's talk about anxiety, because this is where caffeine gets sneaky. Caffeine can increase anxiety symptoms in some people. Shaky hands, faster heart rate, chest tightness, that wired and edgy feeling, those are not moral failures. They're physiology. And here's the trap. When we're anxious, we scan for bodily sensations. That makes caffeine feel stronger, and the stronger it feels, the more we worry. So caffeine can create symptoms that mimic anxiety, and anxiety can amplify caffeine. It becomes a loop. The longevity compass move is treating anxiety sensitivity like a timing problem first. Earlier caffeine, smaller dose, and never on an empty stomach if we're prone to jitters. If we do one thing, we stop letting caffeine and stress stack on top of each other. Now blood pressure. On average, caffeine can raise blood pressure modestly, but individual responses can be bigger. Some people see a noticeable spike, especially if they don't use caffeine regularly, or if they combine it with poor sleep, stress, and dehydration. And tolerance doesn't always mean immunity. We can feel normal and still see a higher reading, especially if we measure soon after caffeine. If we track BP at home, we standardize the timing, measure before caffeine, not after, and watch trends, not one reading. Now let's cover training, because we can absolutely use caffeine without sabotaging sleep. Caffeine can improve performance, but we don't get free performance. We pay with sleep if we time it wrong. The cleanest strategy is using caffeine earlier in the day, especially for morning training. For midday training, smaller doses often get most of the benefit with less sleep risk. For late afternoon or evening training, caffeine is the most common reason we train great and then sleep like a haunted house. Saving 1% in the gym is rarely worth losing the night's recovery. If we train later, we can use non-caffeine tools. A longer warm-up, hydration, carbohydrate timing, and simply getting started can do more than we expect. Caffeine is optional, recovery is not. Now let's make this real with a simple 7-day experiment. Pick a bedtime and count back 10 hours. That's our caffeine curfew for 1 week. Keep the same total caffeine if we want, but move it earlier and keep the dose boring and consistent. After the curfew, switch to half caff or decaf if we still want the ritual. Then watch the signals: fewer night awakenings, steadier mood, less afternoon anxiety, and a lower overnight heart rate trend. If we're a fast metabolizer, we may earn a slightly later cutoff. If we're a slow metabolizer, we'll discover the earlier cutoff is the cheat code. Now a few safety notes, because we're not playing internet doctor. If we're pregnant, caffeine metabolism can slow. If we have panic symptoms, uncontrolled blood pressure, arrhythmias, or we're on medications that interact with caffeine, we talk to a clinician. And if we're using caffeine to survive chronic sleep restriction, we don't need a better caffeine strategy. We need a better sleep strategy. Caffeine is a tool. It's not a replacement for recovery. Here's the longevity compass bottom line. We don't have to quit coffee to protect longevity. We just have to stop letting caffeine drift into the hours where it steals deep sleep, raises anxiety load, and pushes blood pressure in the wrong direction. Use the lowest effective dose. Move it earlier, respect the half-life, and judge success by how we sleep and how steady we feel the next day, not just by whether we manage to fall asleep. If this episode helped, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for tools and affiliate links that match today's episode, plus our Longevity Compass Amazon KDP book. And comment, "Too late," with your current caffeine cutoff time. We'll help you tighten it without quitting coffee.